We'll move on to the next artist. The next artist is Ina Morava. Ina is an artist that has been in a couple of our juried exhibitions, and I really loved her work. There's a specific um, technique that she uses that's reminiscent of wall murals in Greece or in churches in Europe. Ina, if you could unmute yourself. And same questions for you. What particular challenges did this format present to you, and how did you resolve those? And separate from the challenges of the format, what was your inspiration for these particular pillars?
Okay, hi all, thank you. So the challenge was actually the format itself, because it's pretty unusual, it's unusually tall and thin, and two panels instead of one. So I had several ideas, but they didn't work with the format because they were supposed to be just regular painting, single painting. So I actually dissolved it by starting to make sketches. So I started with just abstract lines, and gradually I figured out that actually human figures are matching the format, because proportionally it's approximately like human body. So I decided that I want to make something like that, and so I can say that I started with the compositional decision, and after that I went to idea and philosophy and so on. So it was pretty challenging, but actually I love the result, and I love the limitations, because I believe that sometimes limitations give us maybe even better and bigger ideas. So speaking about the second, what second
Well, the
was
second one was, what was your specific
inspiration.
inspiration for the subject matter?
Uh, yeah, inspiration in this particular work is human being, because I believe that all of us have some initial kindness inside and light, and when we were born as innocent children. So, and I believe that we do still have this inner light, and especially when we sleep, we have bigger chance to connect with this natural kindness, and I would even call it maybe some angelic nature of human beings. So I was trying to show it, and actually the second part of my inspiration is old ancient icons, because I always was fascinated how simply they made, and at the same time how beautiful they are. It the sign of the highest skills of artists, that they can use so poor palette and still have so powerful results. So I was trying to combine these two inspirations in my work. Yeah.
Yeah, you wrote a really poetic artist statement that referenced the sleeping figures and dreams and chaotic fantasies. And if everybody hasn't checked out the online catalog, it's on the website. I would encourage you to read. Ina's artist statement is really beautiful. But yeah, that was sort of my initial impression of these, was that they were inspired by icons. I was curious if there were specific icons that inspired this, or just icons in general. And then you talked about sleeping and dreams and those sorts of things. That's a little outside the what you normally would see in icons. Icons are not usually sleeping.
Yeah, so the first part is, yeah, it's actually one particular artist, Andrei Rublev. It's Russian iconographer. Andrew, I can write it down here. And his particular icon, Trinity. So it was my main reference. And yeah, like it is not what we usually see on icons, because this is not an icon. I just used the visual style, and I just wanted to have kind of a hint that we have uh, some holiness inside, maybe. And actually, one more interesting thing I noticed, that usually, yeah, we don't see sleeping people in icons, but we see people. It's not some fantastic creatures. It's just usually, mostly, they are just people. So I found it interesting too. So we could use this visual style to paint usual people. So
Yeah, I was really happy that you were able to, because I know that in addition to inviting you to the show, I sort of tasked you with doing something that was sort of look feel similar to the work that I had seen in some of the juried exhibitions, and I'm sure that getting that kind of texture and feel on panels had to have been pretty challenging.
well, it's just technique. I use pretty simplified old icon making techniques. They used more than 10 layers of gesso on the wood panels. I used 2, 3 layers. So I simplified it, but still I try to, yeah, I still to get that feeling of old walls.
Yeah, it definitely has a feeling of old wall. So once again, be sure to come by the exhibition if you can. And if you want to see it privately, send an email to us and we'll be happy to open the gallery for you. So we'll move on to the